The Mets are currently in first place with a record of 50-43, 3.5 games above the Phillies. With the trade deadline coming up soon, the Mets are going to want to make some moves to cement their playoff spot. Here are some moves I could possibly see them doing. One of the bigger moves I can see them possibly doing is acquiring Kris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs. Bryant's name has been thrown around being on the Mets for a while now, and I think this trade deadline is the time they actually pull the trigger and trade for Bryant. Bryant is a 4-time All-Star, MVP in 2016, and a Rookie of the Year in 2015. In 2021, he's got a .264 average, 16 home runs, 48 RBIs, a .346 on base percentage, and .834 OPS. Bryant is a free agent after this season, so they're going to probably look to re-sign him if they do acquire him. A big upside with Bryant is that he's very versatile, and this is what this Mets team needs in this upcoming stretch, as they've been stricken by the injury bugs with plenty of injuries. They're starting to get a little bit more healthy now, but they're starting to get struck again with DeGrom going on the IL, a couple of starters on the IL, and also Lindor getting hurt. So what the upside with Bryant is that he can play every outfield position and play third base and even first base if you want to put him there. So say Conforto gets injured, you can put him in right field. Or say J.D. Davis gets injured, you can put him at third base. So it really gives a lot of expandable room for the Mets if anything happens to their outfielders. But say if they all stay healthy, you put Bryant at third base. But acquiring Bryant will really boost their chances of from playing a playoff team to possibly a World Series contender. With their lack of starting pitching, I could see them possibly packaging Bryant with his teammate Zach Davies. This year, Zach Davies has a .434 ERA in 97 innings pitched, 62 strikeouts, and a 1.4 whip. You're not going to get a dominant guy, an elite pitcher, but you're going to get a very solid back in the rotation guy that can eat innings for this, and this is what the Mets team needs now, is a pitcher to eat innings, because their bullpen is very overworked, because they have pitchers like Robert Stock and Jared Eichhoff going out there every couple days, and really hurting their bullpen. So getting a Zach Davies will be very nice, as he can eat some innings out there for them. He also is a free agent after this season, so you're not going to have him around that long. So maybe if he struggles, you can get rid of him, you're going to be stuck with him, or possibly a contract. So he's a very good deal. They could get him. He would have really helped them out a lot. Now the Mets, probably their top deadline target is Jose Berrios from the Twins. Berrios is a 2-time All-Star, and in 2021 he has a 3.69 ERA, 114 innings pitched, 122 strikeouts, and a 1 whip. With Berrios, you're not gonna get the top of the line ace, but you're gonna get a good solid 2 pitcher or even 3 pitcher, and he's gonna eat innings for you. Over his career, he's been a 3 ERA, above 3 ERA pitcher, and he's been very solid this career, almost reaching 200 innings in each of his seasons. And he really bolstered the Mets rotation, as you could have DeGrom first, Berrios 2, Stroman 3, Walker 4, Syndergaard 5. Also Carrasco, you could fit him in there. So he really helps the rotation and make this a top 5 rotation in the MLB. Not like it already wasn't, but really boost him, maybe even a top 3 rotation in the league if you add Berrios to it. But the one downside with Berrios is that he is not a free agent this year, as he is a free agent in 2023, and he will cost you a lot. I think the Twins are going to have a very high buying price for him. Now, the Mets could possibly package him with Donaldson with a contract and bring the price down. But the Donaldson contract, I'm not very high on that, and taking that on that contract, as it is a very big contract, and it will very push the Mets over the luxury tax. So, say they don't want to take on the Donaldson contract, and Berrios' price is too high, they're probably most likely not going to get him. But I can see them acquiring another starting pitcher from the Minnesota Twins, which would be Michael Pineda. Michael Pineda has had a couple of injuries this year, but in 61 innings pitched, he has a 4.11 ERA, 55 strikeouts, and 1.2 whip. Similar to Zach Davies, he's not gonna be your top end of the rotation guy, but he could be a very solid bottom of the rotation guy, or possibly move him to the bullpen. Say everybody comes back healthy, very long reliever role, so he could be really flexible for the Mets there. And he is a free agent after this year, so he won't be sticking around too long. A trade package I can see the Mets getting, I would really want them to get, is a package from the Pirates of Tyler Anderson and Richard Rodriguez. I'll go into Tyler Anderson first. In 103 innings, he has a 4.35 ERA, 86 strikeouts, and a 1.2 whip. With Tyler Anderson, same thing with Michael Pineda and Zach Davies. You're not going to get a top of the end rotation guy, but he will be a very solid bottom of the end rotation guy, as he can eat up innings for you and be pretty solid at it as well. Same thing with the other guys. Everybody comes back healthy and becomes really good, then you can move him to the long reliever role in the bullpen for the playoffs, and he could be really solid in that role for them, as he is a lefty, and lefties are very valuable in the bullpen. The main piece of this package will be Richard Rodriguez, the closer for them. In 37 innings pitched, he has a 2.65 ERA, 31 strikeouts, and 0.8 WHIP. Rodriguez will fit right into the Mets bullpen and possibly make it even elite, as he's been very solid his whole career. And he will fit right in to be the setup man for Diaz, or say Diaz continues to struggle, you could move Rodriguez to take over his closer role, as he is familiar with that role. And I see a deal like this not being too expensive for the Mets, and get Rodriguez and Tyler Anderson. Rodriguez is not a free agent until 2024, so you're going to have him under contract for a while, and he is pretty solid, so for the next couple years to come, he will be a very solid reliever for the Mets, or possibly closer. Say Diaz gets traded, you could move him to be the closer. So he gives him a lot of flexibility in that bullpen. Merrill Kelly from the Arizona Diamondbacks is another guy I could see the Mets possibly getting. He's 32 years old, and in 2021 he has 117 innings pitched, a 4.46 ERA, 99 strikeouts, and a 1.2 WHIP. He's only spent 3 years in the MLB so far, so he hasn't been here too long. He was in the KBO for a while. A big upside with Kelly is that he's not a free agent until 2025. So if they do possibly trade for him, they're going to have him under team contract for a long time, and he'll possibly be a back end of the rotation guy for them for a while to come in future years. Now, I don't see this as likely, as it said the Diamondbacks are going to be looking for a lot to get in return for this guy, as I don't see why they would cost so much for this guy, as he hasn't been that good, above 4 ERA pitcher in his career so far in the MLB. Granted, it's been 3 years, but I don't see him ever becoming an under 3 ERA guy. I see him always being above 4 ERA guy. But say the Diamondbacks lower down the price and you could snatch him up, I would definitely see them as a possible trade target for the Mets. And he would be filling right into that rotation, eat some innings, and be very good for them. Last guy I could see him getting is possibly Wade Miley from the Cincinnati Reds. I'm not sure what the Cincinnati Reds will be doing this deadline, but I believe they should be selling off. And if they do sell off, Wade Miley could be an interesting arm that the Mets could pick up. In 102 innings pitched, he has a 2.72 ERA, 84 strikeouts, and 1.1 WHIP. Wade Miley is under contract until 2022 with a team option, so they could possibly pick him up, keep him until next year. If they do trade for him, I don't see them picking it up. As a $10 million, I could see them possibly picking it up, but I don't think they will. As a $1 million buyout, I see them going to extend Stroman. Also have the qualifying offer to Syndergaard, so he probably won't be re-signed after this year, but he will give them a really good 2 months of pitching and really help them out a lot. And that'll be it for today's video. Leave in the comments below what you think about my list and possibly other targets that I missed in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.